Welcome everybody to another video of Vinyl Addict, and I have 10 songs, popular songs of oral sex. Now before I get into this, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment on this video, and share this video. Okay, so with that out of the way, I always wanted to make top 10 videos about unconventional things other than, like I said in other videos, the best 10 best guitarists or things that we always see all the time. So this being pretty an unconventional subject matter of oral sex, why not, right? And probably a lot of people would think, okay, well here's 10 songs from hair metal bands. No, maybe some, but not all. Some of these are pretty much referencing it, or it is about it. And as we go down the 10 songs, they'll pretty much get more and more pretty much explicit, maybe, and some may take this as offensive or misogynist. Oh well, who cares? That's what I'm into right now. So here we are. We're just gonna, without further ado, we're gonna start with a band that probably was considered hair metal, but they are just, to me, well, it's an LA gutter rock and roll band. And who else out of all those bands have to be on this list? And I'm talking about Mötley Crüe from the Dr. Feelgood album. We have She Goes Down, right? And just to give you, I'll recite some of this poetry from all these artists about some of these songs. And so what's here? It's like connecting the dots. Start at the bottom and lick it to the top. So there's Nikki Sixx starting us off with She Goes Down, and great song. Okay, now this next song is probably one of the earliest songs that mentions giving a blowjob, and this is 1972, I believe, 73. Is this 70? This is 72, and this is coming from the underbelly of the lifestyle of Lou Reed, I guess. Walk on the Wild Side, very popular song. And what was the colorful lyrics that Lou was saying? Candy came from out on the island. In the back room, she was everybody's darling. But she never lost her head, even when she was giving head. Said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side, right? Okay, so that was 1972, and Bowie and Mick Ronson is on here, so that was around the Spiders from Mars period, so cool. All right, so now we're going down to number 8, and this one gets kind of explicit, and this is from Texas. 3 guys, we know them as ZZ Top, and the song is called Pearl Necklace, and I guess that's a slang. This came out in 81. So this came out before the whole Eliminator, Legs, Sharp Dressed Man period. And so this is what they were into. He was into pearl necklaces, and just to give you a little bit of Billy Gibbons's poetry, and that's not jewelry she's talking about. She wants a pearl necklace. It really doesn't cost that much. She was getting bombed, and I was getting blown away. And she took it in her hand, and this is what she had to say: a pearl necklace. She wants a pearl necklace. And so that's another way of saying a guy shooting his load on a girl's breast, girl's titties. And that's what she wants. She wants a pearl necklace. And so yeah, so there's some explicit shit coming around here. So ZZ Top, you'll never disappoint in that. Okay, so now this next one, this song won a Grammy. Okay, and some of these lyrics, I guess, just, people at the time didn't really care, but that's it was just so popular though. But it was around 2000, early 2000, and yeah, and this is like mid 2000s. But however, this is a band from Oklahoma, and I believe, and brothers and cousins. I'm talking about Kings of Leon. and their song is Sex on Fire. Now, Caleb, the singer, lyricist, writes here, it's a dark kind of song, but it's, and the video is sort of, I mean, I guess he was a alcoholic, sex addict, I don't know. But the dark of the alley, the breaking of day, head while I'm driving, soft lips are open, the knuckles are pale, feels like you're dying. And so it's kind of poetic the way he does it too, but the head while he's driving, and that got him, I guess, best rock song or something that year. So run him a Grammy. So there you go, Sex on Fire. Now going down to number 6, these guys from England, big ass band. They just had a movie released, a documentary in February, which I gave a review of. I'm talking about the mighty Led Zeppelin. And this song came out in 1976, so this is after that period of that film. The film talks about the first 2 albums mainly, but this is like the second to their last, or Presents. And they have a song on here called Candy Store Rock. And now this one is, these lyrics here, Robert Plant, I mean, he says in the film that he wasn't much of a lyricist. He didn't care about writing lyrics as much, but you could give him something and whatever, it's going to sound very soulful and powerful. But this one, I mean, there was just so much here he was writing about the same thing. However, well, you looking good enough to eat. I don't believe I tasted this before. I want it now and every mouthful more of you. I got a sweet tooth when my mouth is full of you. And it goes on and on, but you get the gist. For Candy Store Rock, he doesn't want the store to close. And that's Robert Plant's, what was going on in his mind in 1976. That was like the later albums, right? So yeah, Page and Bonham are going through their drugs and alcohol, and so it was up to them to Page and John Paul Jones to keep it going, and so they put up stuff like that. Okay, now we're going to number 5, and another big band from the UK, from England, and of course we got Queen. And they were on my other top 10 list for top 10 songs with the N-word on it. Yeah, so this is his second one, Freddie Mercury. So let's see what's going through his mind on this album, News of the World. This is 1977, I believe, right? I think it was 1977, yes. And this is the one with We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. So, get down, make love. You take my body, I give you heat. You say you're hungry, I give you meat. I suck your mind, you blow my head. Okay, so you get the gist. All right, so there we go, Queen. And this song was also covered by Trent Reznor and 9 Inch Nails. Very similar, actually. But of course, nobody does Queen better than Queen. So moving on from the UK, we're going to Canada. And this song is originally called Those Were the Best Days of My Life. And that was a lyric in the song. And it's a song about it was like a really big popular hit in '85, about like a coming of age song. But the artist, Bryan Adams, Summer of '69, mentions that it is a reference to oral sex. The summer of '69 wasn't the year '69 because he was just like a little baby or kid at '69, I guess. However, because if it was, it would be been creepy. However, so he's pretty much reflecting on that summer, standing on her mama's porch and all this other stuff. and that was, you know, the year he was getting 69s. I guess him and this girl. So at the end, yeah, me and my baby in a 69. That's the lyric that creeps in at the end. So you know, that's, you know, the one thing about the 80s and stuff. You know, those songs are always clever. The people who write lyrics, and Bryan Adams is no stranger to that. You know, just kind of writing not really cryptic stuff, but you know, it's still rock and roll, right? So Bryan Adams going for segueing into this next band. I mean, he's written songs for this next band, and this band is again a big monster of a band, and I'm talking about Kiss. Yeah, so Bryan Adams written a couple of songs for them. War Machine is one of them. However, the song on this album, and this is like my favorite, one of my favorite Kiss albums, because I love the cover. I always just love the cover of this. This is like their probably one of the best album covers you ever see. You know, Take Me is the song on here, and you know, this is a Paul Stanley thing, because sometimes you can't tell, is this a Paul Stanley lyric or is this a Gene Simmons one? At first you would think it was a Gene Simmons one lyrically, from what but I think Gene is a lot more direct, and with Paul, with the title Take Me, you wouldn't really think that a lot of this stuff is about just oral sex. So what does he talk about in here? Okay, so put your hands in my pocket and grab onto my rocket. Feels so good to see you receive. Sitting in the back, her head down in my lap, moonlight shining down on her hair, and you know, it goes on and on. Take Me. I love the song and love the band, of course. This is so this is number 3, I believe. Yeah, Take Me is number 3. Okay, so it's getting a lot more poetic as we go down to the wire, and going down to number 2. All right, of course he had to be here, and the song that it's in the title, and it's from 1981, and it's called, no, this is 1980, pretty much, and it's Dirty Mind album by Prince, and the song is called Head, right? Why wouldn't it be? And this is one of his, this album is sort of like the Lou Reed album, very kind of underbelly of sex, and there's a lot dark overtones to it. There's songs about incest on here, a song called Sister, and prostitution, and this is all before he became very popular. So this is very kind of just the subject matter here is just like, it's gutter pretty much. And so Head is it was actually a single, I guess, but it didn't really catch on, or nobody would want to play it. And you know, you're a good girl, I think you like to go down. You wouldn't have stopped, but I came on your wedding gown. And he just kind of talks about having oral sex with this virgin girl, and that's why there's a reference of the wedding dress and everything, and morning, noon, and night. You know, he gives her head, and vice versa. And so, of course, Prince would have to be in this, because back in the day, you know, he was the master of just, you know, sex songs, and just, you know, whether it was, you know, oral sex or whatever, you know, masturbation. He was on that list as well. I did the top 10, and he was on that. So this brings us to the number 1, and you think that would be the number 1 song of oral sex because it's in the title, but I don't know. It came to this one band, but it's a tie. Okay, so the tie is from the same band, but 2 different singers. I'm talking about AC/DC, Let There Be Rock album with Bon Scott, and the song is Go Down, and the Back in Black album with Brian Johnson with Giving a Dog a Bone. Now, I was kind of like right in front of you. I had the shirt on. Who was it going to be? It was just, there it is. It's AC/DC. They got 2 songs on oral sex. So they, they had to, they had to be on both. So, and she's using her head again, using her head. I'm just giving the dog a bone. I mean, it's very just raunchy and awesome, right? Who else? These are the guys, right? Australia, Down Under. They go. She goes down. Ruby, Mary. All these girls on that song is just, very descriptive. It's very, these are the guys, AC/DC, and it's good to see that they're still out there doing it, spreading the message of love. Okay, so that is my 10 songs on oral sex. What are your thoughts? There were some other, mentions. Of course, the Rolling Stones, they had a whole bunch of stuff, right? Honky Tonk Women, right? Of course, another hair band would have been Warrant with Cherry Pie, which was a honorable mention. So, but those are the 10 that I felt were really just going straight into what this subject is, whether it's a pearl necklace or getting head while you're driving. I thought I covered it all, but you be the judge on that. You give me a comment below. If there's another song about oral sex, there were no women here on this list. It was just pretty much a male thing here. So give me a comment below. And with that, I'll shut up and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.